Good morning, Sonia. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you on this lovely morning?
I'm very well, thank you. I've got my drink, so I'm ready to get started with you.
Cool.
So thank you for coming on today. And I invited you because, like myself, when we've been talking over the last couple of times, I've recognised that what we do is a fairly similar thing in enabling people to transform their lives by eradicating the root cause of their problems. And when I've listened to you over the few times we've met, I've definitely thought there's definitely a synergy here, because I truly believe to get over any real problem, then you do need to be able to find out what the true issue is and be able to get rid of it before you can start doing the other stuff. So I'm going to hand over to you just to explain what you do as a functional medicine health coach. And yeah, on you go.
Okay. So, as you know, my name's Sonia. I'm a functional health coach. I trained as a functional medicine certified health coach a couple of years ago. Our principles are to look at the root cause of a problem and deal with that. For instance, you go to your doctor and with your issue and they give you medication for the symptoms. In functional medicine, we believe if you look at the root cause, deal with the root cause, then the symptoms take care of themselves.
Yeah, well, the symptoms are only a result of what's going wrong at a deeper level, aren't they? And I love your little tagline. But what is it again? Skills.
Skills, not pills.
Yes, that's it. Looking to eradicate medication, which I think in a lot of cases, you do find that people who start on that pharmaceutical process, they get given some medication, then there's side effects from that. So they get given more medication. And I mean, is that kind of something that you've seen in what you do?
Yeah. So before I came into functional medicine health coaching, I used to be a nurse practitioner in a doctor's surgery, and I used to treat and manage people with long-term conditions. And the issue there is every time they came in for a review, they weren't getting better. So I'm giving them medications to treat their disease, but they're not getting better. What actually happens is they become tolerant of the medication that they were given. And then the next time they need more medication
Right.
to work. So I had a very nice man, Peter, and he knows I tell this story all the time. I diagnosed him with diabetes some 20 years ago. I know I don't look it, but yes, years ago. And I gave him the option of lifestyle modification, because if he had looked at his diet, exercise, etc., then we could have reversed his diabetes, because he was type 2 diabetes. And he was, oh no, I haven't got time for that lark, just give me the tablets.
Mm.
So I did give him the tablets. And through my career progressions, I left the surgery, but then I came back as a nurse practitioner, and he was still there. And I was doing his annual review for his diabetes, and by this time I had started him on one class of medication. He was now on 4
Wow.
classes of medication, and he looked at me straight in the eyes and said, I wish I'd listened to you in the beginning.
Oh God.
And when I heard that, I thought, yeah, I'm doing the right thing.
So I suppose, as well as, yeah, obviously you can see how something's been a very fundamentally sort of like a problem in that person's life. So were they actually getting sicker as well with medication? I mean, like, was the diabetes being managed effectively or not?
No. So when I first met him, he'd just been diagnosed with type 2, right? So type 2 can be treated, diet and exercise. By the time I saw him 20 years later, he was actually on insulin. as well as
Oh my life.
tablet.
So the medication had no effect. It made
Well,
them.
it just, it, the whole point of the medication is to slow down the progression of the
Right.
disease,
Okay.
as they tell you.
Yeah.
But what it did was it didn't do anything to the disease. So the disease just continued progressing to the point that he needed insulin and medication for blood pressure and heart disease to prevent those.
See, this is what I call sticky plaster management.
Correct.
Okay? That,
Yeah.
you're not dealing with what's going on underneath, so it's not going to change. And what you're doing, you're just putting a sticky plaster just to, deal with what we've got today. And obviously, in his case, you've seen in real time, and I'm sure in many other cases, you've seen in real time where this just it's not an effective way to go ahead. So you're obviously trained up now. So what is it that you do? What can you just take us through what people come to you for and how you actually help them?
Okay, so it all depends why people are coming, because what they look like they want on the surface isn't always the thing that they want. So my skills, not pills, is if you've got a long-term condition and you are fed up of leaving your doctors with a whole bag of prescription medications, depending how long you've been on those pills, I must admit, I'm not a miracle worker, but I can help you through lifestyle modification to reduce your need for pills by modifying the lifestyle issues which are making your condition worse. So the things I look at is make sure you're eating right, make sure you're keeping hydrated, make sure you're thinking right, make sure you're speaking to yourself right, make
Yes.
sure you're moving right, make sure you are sleeping right, and make sure you are pooping right. The number of people who say to me, oh, that sleep thing, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That is the number one thing that people underestimate.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, actually.
Mm.
And I think what you described there, it's like a holistic look at all the aspects that are affecting your life. I mean, I've worked in the nutrition industry before, so I really do understand how key food is to not just our physical health, but our mental health. But I think you're taking this a step further than just being a nutritionist looking at the diet. You're looking at all the aspects that are affecting that person's health. So that seems a really comprehensive way to address this.
And can I just jump in there? The other big thing that keeps coming up is people who think they can out exercise a bad diet. So everything, like you said, is interconnected, and we are not little boxes that you can just put something in and forget about everything else. Everything is interrelated, and that's why we take the holistic approach.
Yeah, no, that seems a much better way to deal with it. And do you know what? This is something that we're never taught, is it? We're not taught on this greater level at school. We have to go find all this information ourselves, and most of us just don't know. I mean, I know that some people just think that just putting a bit of salad inside their plate means that they're actually eating a healthy, balanced diet, and it's a lot more to it than that, isn't it? And I've seen this amazing thing. It's a Yucca app, and it actually, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's an app and it tells you all the ingredients in things that you would think to be healthy. I just got some really hazardous chemicals and things in there. So, I go around scanning food in Tesco's now till my Wi-Fi simply drops off.
And the other thing that, again, going back to the eating, we don't chew our food for long enough. A little snippet. Carbohydrates are primarily broken down by chewing.
Oh.
And most of us, myself included, wolf our food down because we're busy.
Yeah. I do.
If you don't break down those carbohydrates in your mouth, your stomach doesn't have teeth. So they don't get broken down sufficiently anywhere else. Just
Oh,
thought I'd throw that one in.
oh, there's a little nugget there. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so we're going to put some, is there anything else that you think people should know about this before we kind of like just put your details in the chat for people to be able to get hold of you?
So, you know, we are totally aware that stress is one of the big problems of today. And another one that I come out with is we were not built to deal with stress 24/7. We are built to deal with stress as a in and out, as a cute thing. So in this day and time, we all now live with a degree of stress.
Yeah.
Not usually to the point where we're having breakdowns, etc. But this low level of stress is showing itself as tiredness, weight gain, not sleeping properly. And as I already said, people don't think sleep is important, but that's when you spring clean yourself ready for the next day. And if you're not getting enough sleep, which is between 7 and 9, you are then sleep deprived. And
Yeah.
people don't think they're sleep deprived. Oh, badge of honor. I'm great with 5 hours. No, you're not. You may think you are. So what happens? That stress then leads to, because all your fight and flight jumps in, then, like if you cut your hand and it gets inflamed and the body does its thing and then it scabs over and it heals. If you think of stress as somebody keeps picking our wound, it never heals.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
And what happens then, if it's never healing, it's just causing more and more issues. So that's what happens with stress. Stress leads to inflammation. That inflammation, because we're under stress 24/7, never goes back down. And that is what leads to these long-term, what I call a modern long-term conditions and autoimmune disease.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
I think it builds up over time, is it? So in our kind of like 20s and 30s, we can manage this because our body, is young, fit, and kind of like, but as things go on, it just can't manage it. And I think that whole thing with stress, like you say, it builds up and up and up and up. And I find with my clients as well, long-term stress, exacerbates anxiety, all these other things that have been sitting there, just in their minds, just as little seeds. Over time, these things kind of compound and you can get into that vicious circle of things. And yeah, and I know just how damaging stress is to our bodies anyway, with the cortisol and how that kind of like just increases aging, doesn't it? It's sort of like it's the whole oxidative process. It kind of like just doesn't enable us to like you say, the scab and heal. So that's been really amazing, Sonia. Thank you so much for coming and speaking. So I do know that you are offering a 30-day challenge, aren't you?
Yes.
So we'll put the details for that. So if anyone wants to kind of contact Sonia and do the 30-day challenge, and what do you expect to kind of like to go from in the 30 days? What can you achieve with you in 30 days?
Yeah. So it's a 30 days stress release challenge. So over those 30 days, there's supplementations, which you take for 10 days. Yeah. And it's a detox as well as, just dealing with your stress. Because stress, we also, our diet is, you know, affected, our mental health is affected. And these supplements just help to reset, you know, put a break on your stress. So that's the first 10 days. And then the following, for the rest of the challenge, I will be helping you to implement the skills required to not get yourself back in the position you're in at this particular moment in time.
Reset those neural pathways to think
Exactly. And the thing is, we think how we are now, that's how it is. And then once you see the other side, you think, oh yeah, I'd rather be on this side of the fence, thank you, than where I was.
I think you don't realize how much stress you carry because it becomes just so natural, doesn't it? You just get used to it. And I think that, you know, it's only when you kind of look back on things you can go, wow, I was not in a good place.
Exactly. Because it's so insidious, so
It's the boiled
gradual.
frog, isn't it? You know, you just sit there
just
and
put something else on.
yeah,
exactly.
And that's brilliant. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. We'll put the links in
You're
the post
welcome.
and also all your other contact details. And we'll catch up again with you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your morning.
Yeah. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.